Welcome. And today we'll dive into a couple of great I Don't Work Here Lady stories and their reactions. Coming up we have, why would I be working with my toddler? And why would a store employee kidnap a child on the clock? Plus we have, I'm looking at the nutrition facts, not stocking the shelves. I just know you're gonna love these stories, so this should be a fun session. Hi, this is Derek. I just put the drama llama, Fred, back in his pen so that I can do this quick video for you with some of the stuff that Fred found on Reddit earlier today. If this is your first time watching our videos, help me out by watching to the end, and then giving me some feedback in the comment area below. I do respond to every single one, so don't be shy. And if you want more of these videos daily, don't forget to like and subscribe, with notifications turned on for this channel. Oh boy, let's get ready for some dramas. Sad Salads posted, why would I be working with my toddler? And why would a store employee kidnap a child on the clock? This happened a few months ago. Mid-October, when the weather was still nice where I live. I went to our local Kroger to grab a few things I needed for dinner. This is important because I wasn't using a cart, just a basket. My oldest son, who is 3.5, loves to go to the store and do anything that involves getting out of the house. So I decided to let him tag along and leave his other brother at home with dad. Grocery trips for us are kind of like our little mom and son dates. I usually let him pick out a toy or a treat of some kind. Since outings aren't as often since the pandemic, I try to keep things normal and exciting for him. This is where story comes into play. For note, I was wearing a light blue polo, but the store dress code is a dark blue polo with a store logo and khakis. I was wearing jean shorts that in no way was too short, but definitely wouldn't be allowed for any employee of a grocery store. People involved will be me, TS toddler's son, and RK rude Karen. So about 20 minutes into our trip, I had grabbed the few vegetables I needed. It was just shopping around the canned goods aisle to grab some things I might need in the future. I was putting a can of something back in exchange for a larger version. I didn't see it first when I hear, "Ma'am, I need your assistance right this instant." Not working there, I figured someone was just being a butt to a nearby worker, and carried on until about 30 seconds later while looking at different canned good items, when RK grabs my arm and pulls me around. "Me, excuse me, can I help you?" "Rude Karen, I know you heard me, now help me find the molasses now." "Me, I don't work here clearly, so how about no and don't touch me again. As a matter of fact, we're in a pandemic. And you're not even wearing a mask. Get away from me." "Rude Karen, I have chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, I can't wear one, where's your manager? That's a violation for you to even ask about my medical condition. Now go find this child's parents instead of dilly-dallying around like you're supposed to, or else I will tell the manager you are not going to give this child back." Me, completely stunned and pissed at this point. For one, I didn't ask about your medical condition, I said get away from me. Since you are above health codes, how dare you accuse me of stealing a child? Again, I don't work here, lady, and this stolen child happens to be my son. Are you okay? Rude Karen, yes you did. You did ask me, you little biatch. I know you're a little rotten liar. Who doesn't want to get in trouble? Now take me to the manager now. You're no older than 16, who are you keeping this child from? Me, I am 25 years old, he came from me and is my son. I do not work here. Get the hell away from me. Before I get a manager myself, you're scaring my son. My toddler son is visible scared and on the verge of tears at this point. Rude Karen, he looks scared because you stole him. Me, so now I'm no longer finding his parents but stole him on the clock. Rude Karen, see, you just admitted it, you do work here. At this point my son is crying, and so I just grab his hand and walk to find a manager as fast as I can, with Rude Karen screaming behind me that she's getting a manager and that I am kidnapping a child, so people are starting to look. I finally find the manager. It doesn't take much to explain the situation, as Rude Karen was trailing behind me screaming as I was talking to him. He very quickly confirmed I did not work there, and then told her to leave for making such accusations and not adhering to local health department guidelines. She of course refused, started causing an even bigger scene on how we were human trafficking in the store, and the police up getting called by her. Yes, she was the one who called 911 to report a kidnapping, and she is arrested in front of a good 150 people. Basically just had to tell the cops my situation and how she was following me throughout the store, accusing me of stealing my own son, and that was that, and went home and on with the rest of my day. So rude, Karen. I sincerely hope a jar of molasses was worth a trip to jail. And you received the mental health care you clearly need. What are your thoughts on this awesome story? Please share in the comments below. Now here's how some Reddit members reacted to this story. Build Your Diver reacted with: honestly, as a dad who takes my young son, he's 4, shopping and out all the time, this kind of accusation worries me all the time. To add, the fear started with my nieces. Fortunately, it hasn't happened to me. My son looks like me a lot. But it's the thought that has weighed heavily in my mind due to stories like this, and some of the ones posed in the comments. And I've been hyper aware of how I'm supposed to appear in public. Sad Salads reacted with: I honestly had never even thought about something like that happening until that incident. Then a week later I read a story about a man who was waiting outside for his wife with his baby. A woman walks up, takes the baby carrier, then accuses him of kidnapping. And people pinned him down while the woman was about to get away with his child. Thank God the mother walked out and intervened. From what I read, I couldn't imagine how helpless that man felt in that instance. Sometimes I feel like fathers have it worse when it comes to certain situations. That definitely being one of them. Especially going to the park, sitting off by myself watching my son play. What a bunch of great reactions. Now on to the next story posted by Mythical Ace, who posted: I'm looking at the nutrition facts, not stocking the shelves. There have been a few times when people have stopped me to ask if I work there. But I've always just been able to say no, sorry, and that's always the end of it. But today, that wasn't the case at all. This is one of those ordeals that never actually happens in the real world, or so I thought. This is what actually happens when things get out of hand. Too lazy didn't read at the end. This is definitely a long one, but hopefully worth your time. So a bit of background about me: I'm a bodybuilder and powerlifter. And nutrition is very important to what I do. Whenever I go shopping, I like to check the nutrition labels on ingredients and foods I'm interested in. That way I can eat enough food to not be hungry, without sacrificing flavor, and still fitting it into my daily calorie intake. As you can imagine, I will check multiple different versions of the same ingredients in an aisle, and put them back as I search for the best option. Well, earlier today I went on a pretty big restock for the house. I also found a bunch of new recipes that I want to try, some of which called for some ingredients I don't work with often. For the most part, the store wasn't too busy, and nobody really bothered me as I walked up and down each aisle. I also had some earbuds in and my phone out, with my shopping list on it. Keep in mind also that I'm wearing a tank top and sweatpants, which you're probably not going to get away with wearing as a grocery store employee. As I'm looking through spices in the baking aisle, I hear someone yelling over my music. It was kind of surprising since I listened to it pretty loud. So I took an earbud out and looked around, and this lady just said to me, "Can't even believe they let employees wear those stupid things." I cut her off and said I wouldn't know, because I don't work here. This seemed to upset her greatly, as she got really aggressive when she responded by saying, "Don't effing lie to me, I've seen you stocking the shelves. I'm a paying customer and you need to help me right now." I'm a very easygoing guy, but when a random stranger speaks to me like this, I'm not gonna put up with it. So I said I don't have to do poop, especially if you talk to me like that. Get lost. She lost something, that's for sure. She yelled, "Excuse me? How the F dare you?" I just turned to walk away at that point. All of a sudden she grabs the back of my tank top, and I yank myself away saying, "What the F, lady, don't touch me." She takes a couple steps back, probably realizing that I am not the kind of person you want to pick a fight with. Fine then, I'm finding a manager. Say goodbye to your job, you lazy, useless piece of poop. I was already putting my earbud back in, so I just said, "Whatever lady, bye." I grabbed my spices as she walked off in a huff and continued my shopping. I wasn't even wearing what employees at this store wear. Like, how could I possibly be mistaken for an employee? I seriously cannot stress enough how much I don't look like I work there. A couple minutes later, I'm in the next aisle over, and I see her again with a manager. I don't hear what she's saying because I've got my music on, but with the way she was pointing her finger, I'd imagine she was probably saying that I'm the one who didn't help her. They started walking up, and I took both earbuds out this time. Manager approaches me and I hear the lady saying he should be fired for cussing at me and threatening me. Manager is like, yeah, he doesn't work here. He's wearing a tank top, that's definitely against dress code, well, anywhere. She didn't like that answer. Then why is he stocking your shelves? I chime in and say I'm comparing calories in foods and picking the best ones to stay healthy. Maybe you should try it sometime. You definitely look like you need it. She stands there for a moment with this expression on her face that looked like her brain didn't process what I just said. Then she got surprisingly calm. It was getting kind of pathetic at that point. At least I thought so, but the manager actually seemed to side with her and said, "Still, I can't have anyone assaulting people in my store." Whoa, what? I must have missed the part where she said I assaulted her. So I ask him to repeat himself. And he explains that it is a criminal offense to assault someone, and that the police could get involved. Lady goes from pissed off to real smug, like I'm about to get it. Good, I said, call them down here, I'll wait. I know this store has security cameras on every aisle. And I'm so sick of people like her getting away with this level of entitlement, that I really did wait. Police show up a few more minutes later. We go to a back office in the store, and they're really grilling me. Asking me why I would attack someone, if I was on any drugs, etc. I'm kinda used to this treatment. People take one look at me and just assume I'm some meathead bodybuilder with roid rage. I answer all their questions by saying, look at the security footage. It'll answer all your questions. The more I said it, the more frustrated they got. Finally, they leave the room. I just wait there patiently, for about 45 minutes. Then they come back and apologize. The manager told us you assaulted her. We should have checked the footage, but you do fit the profile. I then say, why? Because I have bigger muscles than most people? Is that a crime? They know they can't really say or do much about it, since they made some pretty big assumptions. If you'd like, you can press charges against her, since she did grab you according to the security footage. And you know what? I said that I would like to press charges. Normally I don't like to waste my time dealing with courts, but hours of my day were already wasted today. And I want her to know that she can't get away with it. A few minutes later, the manager offers to let me just go home with my groceries for free. Probably a bit scared that I might sue the store for discrimination or something, since I was so ready to press charges on the lady. On my way out, I saw them putting her into the back of a police car. And she was screaming profanities at the officers. I've already talked to an attorney, who is in the process of obtaining the security footage. Court date is going to be in March. But should be pretty straightforward since the evidence is in my favor. I've never actually had to press charges like this before. So I have no idea what to expect. All I know is that even if she only ends up getting fined $1, or has to do even a minute of community service, I'll have a smile on my face. Anyway, that's been my crazy day. I know there are similar stories here of crazy Karens and stuff. And I always thought they were entertaining. And would sometimes even think about what I'd do in a similar situation. My reaction certainly wasn't what I thought it would be though. And it wasn't as entertaining being on the receiving end of the story. At least I got some free groceries out of it though. I wanted to clarify how the process behind pressing charges is going to work. The court date I got is really just more of a screening, where I will answer some questions and find out what happens next. That's also why it's happening all the way in March. Due to the pandemic, they are trying to cut down on in-person interactions. So this will happen over a video conference call. My attorney friend got back to me a couple hours after I posted this, and explained that this will mostly be hands-off on my part. And I won't have to worry about court costs, legal fees, or hiring him to represent me. I hope that clarifies things, as I myself didn't really understand what the paperwork I got yesterday meant. What are your thoughts on this awesome story? Please share in the comments below. Now here's how some Reddit members reacted to this story. Sadie Satellite reacted with, I can't believe the manager would assume you assaulted her, when they could have easily checked to get the story straight before telling the cops. So happy you stood your ground here. The amount of strangers touching others on this sub never ceases to amaze. Sadly, I'm not surprised at all. People will see a big dude with muscles and a small woman, and they'll immediately assume that strength equals anger. In reality, I never get angry in situations where I probably should, because I work all that out in the gym. All I want is for people to respect each other and live a healthy lifestyle where they are happy. None of us are perfect, but we can try to be better every day. And finally, Harry WWC reacted with, "Finally, some who says yes to the 'do you want to press charges?' question." Well, there you have it. A perfectly great set of reactions from a bunch of upstanding citizens. Help support this channel by smashing the like and subscribe buttons. And hit that silly little bell as well to ensure you get the latest videos as they come out. Fred is always finding stuff for me to post regularly. So this is Derek signing off. Thanks for watching. Good grief, it sounds like Fred is out of his pen again. He must have found more stories for me to share with you. See you soon.